I have been a published writer for over 15 years. During this time, I have written mostly travel features for various publications across different countries such as the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Italy and Malta. I love immersive slow travel, and writing has helped me be more in tune with those little details that enrich the travel experience. Being a writer means that you are more observant of the people you meet and attentive to their customs and especially the way they see the world. I'm also an enthusiastic reader, not only of travel literature but also of fiction. In my view, reading fiction is a way of immersing yourself in a foreign culture in an enjoyable and relatable way by getting into the minds and motivations of the characters. A few years back, I decided to embark on my first fiction writing project, not knowing what an incredibly challenging task I had undertaken. Back in 2013, I was going through a very rough period, and during that summer, I took my family to the Valdichiana for the very first time. That trip turned out to be a deeply cathartic experience for me. I was fascinated by the quaint little medieval towns dotting the valley, with their ancient walls and treasure-keeping churches, places like Cortona, Castiglione Fiorentino, Lucignano, Civitella, even their very names were magical and suggestive. I also met some wonderfully interesting people, and thus the seed of By Way of the Valley, my debut novel, had been sown. Now all I had to do was make sure that the brain ground where the seed landed was fertile enough and that I nursed it until it blossomed. Well, that nursing staff was the hardest job of all, and it lasted the whole of 4 years. By Way of the Valley is a mystery story. It is the quest of a young, bitter Maltese man, Duncan, whose life is in tatters, believe it or not. During the span of a day, he loses his job as a teacher and is handed his wife's divorce papers. The news of his teenage mentor's death is devastating. Gordon Bell, his mentor, was a Scottish writer who had settled in Tuscany and become a world-famous author. He had been Duncan's role model, but over time they had lost contact. Duncan is gripped by an urge to retrieve Gordon's diary in a bid to read what his beloved mentor had written about him after his 2-week visit to his home in Cortona many years back. For a moment, Duncan dreams of flying to Italy, leaving his detestable life behind, but is reluctant, especially now that he is unemployed. And then, a mysterious figure, Elijah, sends him an email telling him that Gordon Bell has left him a precious book and urges him to fly to Tuscany at once before the vultures swoop in. Duncan eventually overcomes his reluctance and takes the plunge. He travels to Cortona and embarks on a frenetic search for Gordon Bell's legacy. Gordon has left him a journal full of cryptic messages, which leads him to a kind of pilgrimage search across the Valdichiana, an ancient valley that is brimming with historic towns. The clues are often related to the artistic or historical artifacts which every walled town of the valley abounds with, and somehow these clues seem to revolve around the cult of Saint Francis of Assisi, who is very much present in the valley. When Duncan meets Laura, the attractive granddaughter of his mentor's housekeeper, the half-senile Girolamo Guarini, it is for him both a blessing and a curse. Though currently unemployed, Laura has a degree in history of art and turns out to be of great help in unraveling the clues left in Gordon's journal. Unluckily for Duncan, however, she is also engaged to Franco, a dashing bike rider who overshadows him at every turn. Laura is sweet and kind, but hides her own skeletons in the closet too. Officially, the police have attributed Gordon Bell's death to accidental mushroom poisoning, but Duncan starts suspecting foul play. As he starts unraveling the intricate events that led to Gordon's death, Duncan unwittingly starts discovering things about his own past, truths that someone does not want him to uncover. Gordon's estate is considerable and some shady figures are eyeing it with lust. Duncan's search takes him on a collision course with the dark forces that have mastered to stop him from revealing the truth. Duncan's quest becomes an ordeal of the mind, body and spirit. Uncovering the truth becomes not only his desired goal, but a necessity for his own survival and that of the people he has grown fond of. His journey becomes dotted with numerous milestones, including love, faith, redemption, wisdom, but also greed, cruelty, violence, and death. By Way of the Valley is not a romantic novel, although the element of romance is present. Neither does it portray a utopian view of the idyllic Tuscany. Since my teen years, I have been much influenced by Italian Noir novels and movies. Authors like the late Andrea Camilleri, the creator of the famous Inspector Montalbano, and Carlo Lucarelli, who apart from being a writer of noir, also conducted a long-running TV series called Blu Notte Misteri Italiani, have indelibly shaped my view of Italy, a chiaroscuro view, a dazzling face standing out against deep shadows. And I think that those shadows create depth and wonder to outsiders. The dark aspect of Italy plays a significant part in its allure towards foreigners, and that aura of mystery, which frightens, also attracts visitors like a magnet. Duncan is a flawed hero-anti-hero. He blames himself for all his failures in life, and yet, when things get really grim, he has the ability to rise up to the occasion. Will he succeed in his quest for justice and truth? Will he redeem himself and rebuild his shattered self-confidence and perhaps find true love?